Hey, my beautiful peeps. We are locking down the truth with Marci Lock and my beautiful guest, Dr. Lori Lee Barr. She's actually one of my personal clients, one of my favorite people in the world because she's such a genius and a gift. And so for those of you that have never joined us on Marci Lock Influential TV, I'll tell you the reason why it was created is to bring on amazing people like this, like the people who are influential in the world. They're not just here to inform, here to show up with some facts and put on a pretty face and pretend to wear a mask. They're here to influence by giving the knowledge and the gifts and the nuggets that they've learned, and they truly are the peeps that believe in the same belief system I do, which is life gets to be fucking fantastical, or gets to be awesomeness in every single aspect of your life. Otherwise, you're not really living in your gifts and your greatness and the worth of who you are. So Lori, she blows my mind. This woman not only has she's one of the owners and partners of one of the, how do you say it, Lori, the largest radiation, what's the word I'm looking for?
Radiology practices.
There you go. Practices in the U.S. that's in Texas. And not only does she do, she's had tons of experience, obviously, as a doctor and running that side of things, but she's got amazing gifts and products and seminars and workshops and things where she literally changes the game for people. But Lori last night got called in with some cases at the radiology clinic. And she was literally there till 4 a.m. And this is like only a couple hours later. She went home, she napped it up, she got on, she's doing this. So this is the key. And this is where we're going today, is learning how to manifest energy and transmute that energy at any time to create what you want. So obviously Lori, she's here rocking it after just that. Like, that's one of the awesomeness things that she's going to share. But let me tell you why I'm so excited about having Lori and having this knowledge of where we're going to go today, is we're really talking about sexual energy transmutation. What? Yeah, like how to take that. Sexual energy is creation energy. And that is the key to manifesting, meaning getting the results that you want. Yet most people, Napoleon Hill talks about this in Think and Grow Rich, have no idea how to actually transmute that energy into creation and to manifest it. And Lori's got some amazing golden nuggets as she studied this, and she shares this knowledge as to how to actually apply the right knowledge or the right amount of energy at the right time for the right creation. She talks about how you can actually double your revenue and double your fun from simply asking one question and knowing how to transmute that energy. So literally there's tons of golden nuggets here that I know we could get into. So before I just get all, Laura, so excited for you to share this knowledge with my peeps, is I want you to kind of just give us some background of who you are, why you're here, and then let's give some knowledge.
Thank you so much, Marci. It's so much fun to be a part of your tribe, to be one of your peeps. I have grown and learned so much about myself and met so many amazing people. It's really been fantastical, as you say.
Yay.
I think for me, the biggest gift that really happened that God gave me was He gave me parents who were highly sexed individuals. and that may not be what you're expecting to hear, but let me tell you, if you look at Napoleon Hill's chapter on sexual transmutation, he points out that the most successful people in the world are highly sexed. So the more you can be around people like that and take on the characteristics of those people and develop that in yourself, the more that you will achieve everything that you desire in every facet of your life. Relationships, spiritual growth, growing your business, having more fun, having amazing experiences with people you love. So I'm all about
not just about sex, Lori. Is it just about sex?
It's about feeling frisky and having fun and
awesome.
Really channeling that sexual energy. So that's really what it's about. So that was number one. I was born to highly sexed parents, and my mother gave me the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill when I was 19 years old, when I was first starting in medical school. Mm-hmm. So that was a real plus to be given that gift that early in life. I've studied that. I have taught that for years and years and years and years, and I understand this. And I know how to teach it to other people so they can transmute that energy and get everything going good in life that they're really looking for.
And you are such an example of it, because you live in the results of it, and you kick ass in every single way. You saw even one of your books behind you, Think and Grow Well. You've got everything from an actual strategy that's amazing for people to actually walk away with a written manuscript for their book. You help a lot of doctors and professionals learn to shift that into that creation. You have so many things, but one of the things that I'd love you to touch base on, and maybe a nugget that we could get into, is you talk about in this, you do dive into even relationships with sexual transmutation, and you talk about like the key to building long-term relationships. There's a scout strategy, if you want to kind of fill us in, and then why pleasing shouldn't be the first focus. And I was like, this is all good stuff. So I would love you to kind of tap into that a little bit.
Okay, so the very first critical point that you have to address if you want to apply your sex energy to every aspect of your life is you have to be prepared. And, the scout strategy, if you think about scouts, what's the scout motto? It's
be prepared.
Mm-hmm. All right. And, that sounds so American Pie. And really, it's gold. It is gold to be prepared. But what does that really mean? You've got 4 aspects of yourself: your mind, your body, your spirit, and your awareness. And there's no way you can tap into sexual energy of your own or those of other people if you're not even aware that you're putting it out, or that someone else is putting it out, that you could be feeding off of that energy and using it for your own creation or co-creation with that person, even if you don't have sex with them. So that's one thing, is just increasing your awareness about sexual energy, how it feels, how people give it off. Why are you so attracted to that guy or gal? Charisma is sexual energy. So when you build your own charisma, you are amping up that sexual energy. So that's
no wonder
one aspect.
I'm so sexy. Everybody loves my charisma.
That's
so Lori, something I want to tap on just real quick, because this is such a massive block, I feel like, for so many people when they're talking about, like, we get raised with these belief systems about it's about sex, and we think that sexual energy is something we have to shut down, or it should look this way. It's only involved in, a relationship, etc. And you're just sitting here talking about, why do I feel this sexual energy when I look at this attractive person walking by? And most people are like, let me ignore that, instead of like, breathe that in and be like, ooh, I feel a sexual energy. Now, how do I transmute that and apply it to production and to creation? And so is that kind of what you're tapping on when you say, like, there's sexual energy in everything? It's just this energy of creation and
yes.
So tap onto that.
Absolutely. So, like, even when you were talking about that, I started
getting
excited.
You, Tell them you're on a TV show that's awesome.
I know.
And they'll have to leave a message.
So, woo! They really want this badly.
I know, you're so well loved.
So, but no, seriously though, sexual energy is everywhere. You're absolutely right. It is creation energy. And like I said, you don't have to, I am a very conservative Christian. Let me set that ground, lay that foundation right here.
Yes, you are.
So there's a difference between recognizing and appreciating sexual energy and lusting inappropriately after something that you shouldn't lust after. And by lust, I mean something that gets in the way of your relationship with God or commitments you've made to people.
Or distracts you from actual, like we've talked about how people go outside of themselves trying to look for a feeling to fill up. And now it's porn, sex, drugs, alcohol, anything that doesn't actually serve you in creating the results that you want, being at peace.
And what people are looking for when they do that, they're looking for mental stimulation. They're looking for a way to stimulate their creative imagination. And they don't have any better tools. They don't realize that the most potent stimulator of creative imagination is sexual energy. So you've got to be able to get it, inside you, know what it feels like, and then be able to channel that into the other areas of creation that you want to do.
I love that. And what's interesting, I had this comment, because obviously, working with me personally through Mind Body Breakthrough and Goddess, etc., of like connecting the feminine and the masculine and releasing that sexual energy. It's funny, somebody made a comment to me the other day. We got into a real authentic conversation about actually how many partners I have had in my life, and this being very small amount. And they were like, I just thought that you being so open with your sexual energy and expression that, you would have had, you know, a lot of sexual partners. And it was like interesting that we do somehow associate that always to sex, when really it just is about allowing that creation to come through you.
Yes,
so
to
I love that.
flow.
Yeah. And so I love that you, as like, you are a very spiritual person, very connected to God, very on purpose, like very much like this, you know, Christian upbringing, and such an example of just like love. Yet you're teaching sexual transmutation. I love it. It's just like the best thing ever.
Well, thank you. And you know, there's a whole lot of facets about that people are afraid to talk about. And that's one reason why I'm offering this workshop that's coming up in just a few weeks. It's really to address hard, big questions.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make puns there, but you know, the big questions.
Oh, that was the best. That was the best, Lori. You always surprise me.
Like, is masturbation appropriate, and or what? How does that harm me or help me? How, what do I do when I have this energy, when I have this urge, or what do I do if that urge is inappropriate? How do I release that tension in a way that's not destructive? So, you know, those are some of the questions that we address in the workshop that's coming up, the Ready, Set, Go, Go, Go workshop.
Which I can't even recommend being in your space and going through this content. You know, I don't even know how to put words around it, because just even what the few things you've described, I know we've touched an inkling on it, being able to not only learn the actual tools to do this, double your revenue, double your fun right away. Like, touch base on, well, first off, and while we're on the subject of, you know, obviously the things that you have to offer that support people in creating awesome results with this, where do they go to connect with you and find out about the upcoming workshops and the different things that you have?
Well, right now, just for Marci's peeps,
because I'm so special. You're special too.
I want to give you a very special offer. So if you are interested in getting in touch with me and learning more about turning on that sexual energy that you have and applying it to any creation you want, because really sexual transmutation is the right energy applied at the right time for the right creation in your life. Okay. So if you're interested in that, what you need to do is either message me on Facebook. I'm friends with Marci. I'm in the forum. So you can definitely just message me on Facebook. You can email me at Dr. Lori Barr. That's DrLoriBarr @gmail.com. Or you can simply put up your Periscope, because I am going to be doing daily Periscopes, answering questions and getting ideas of exactly what I need to include in 2 workshops that are coming up in 2 weeks. The first workshop is the Ready, Set, Go, Go, Go workshop, which is all about a sexual energy transmutation prescription designed specifically for you. You design it. You do a half day on a Friday afternoon. Then you set up and you execute your first transmutation experience, your experiment, and that's your weekend of ecstasy. And then if you've really applied those principles, on Monday you can join us for the Writer's Momentum workshop, which is a full day, and at the end of the day you come out with a profitable manuscript. So that's kind of the winning combination.
Yeah,
it could be a book, it could be a blog post, it could be copy for a screenplay, whatever you're working on. We can help that move forward in a very fast, efficient way, especially if you've done the creation energy homework over the weekend and had that weekend of ecstasy.
Yeah, that's just a whole nother aspect of, you help so many professionals like get their books done and go through that system, which is awesome. So the fact that you're doing them back to back, where they can have the sexual transmutation knowledge and learning how to apply it, and then jump into something like that and literally have a product creation or a book or manuscript, etc., is fantastical. I want to touch back based on, you said applying the right energy at the right time for the right creation. What do you give us some tools around that? What do you really mean by that?
So really, when you're thinking about creating anything in your life, whether you're creating turmoil by making things too hard, which I used to do a whole lot, but I'm a lot better at not doing now, especially thanks to Marci, because she points it out all the time.
Inner game.
Anything you're creating in your life, if you just step back and think for a minute, and I've got one special question. When you ask that question, you literally can stop in your tracks and decide, do I really want to create this? And how can I amp that up so it absolutely doubles either the profits or the fun that you have when you do that. So that's one thing. But also there's a little formula I like to use to make sure that if I am feeling personal resistance to sexual energy, because sexual energy is so powerful, and like you said, there's so many beliefs around it that are stigmas, that I've got this one, and I've got to share this with everybody, because this is like my secret sauce, that if everybody would just do this one thing, it will really give you energy anytime you need it. I used that this morning, and a minute ago you saw me do this. And what this is about, whenever I do this, I think about my husband's silver chest hair. I have loved silver chest hair on men since I was a little girl, falling in love with movie stars who didn't have on shirts, okay, on TV. And the hair always looked either silver or black, because it was a black and white TV back then. Okay. But anyway, the point is, when I was old enough to then establish intimate relationships and have epic orgasmic experiences with a man that I really adore and cherish, I locked that feeling of goodness and ecstasy and excitement with silver chest hair. So now, anytime I want automatic sex energy on demand, I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
She's like jumping anxious. Steve, get ready after she's done the show.
all I have to do is think about silver chest hair, or if I just touch my chest right here, because one of my friends knows this is my cue, and like if we're somewhere and I'm low energy, she'll do this,
like,
and it makes me think about it.
Right. That's awesome.
So if you can just do that for yourself, establish a visual or an auditory or a sensory anchor for your epic sexual peak experience. And remember, what we really want to focus on is the building up to and right at that plateau of orgasm. Now, for some of you guys out there, that goes pretty quickly, so you might want to slow down your rewind so that you can capture how that build up feels. So lock that in, lock it down, right? Lock it down. And then you'll be able to recall that anytime you need it. That right there is gold.
That is gold. There's actually something that I found quite interesting, is there's actually 9 stages to the ultimate orgasm, and most people hit level 4. Like, that's what they think an ultimate orgasm is, and your body actually is capable of so much more. But again, Lori, there's so many of these tools in actually connecting to it in the right way. But I love how you say, like, it's going to change the way you think about sex forever. So here we're talking about, it's not really about sex, it's about sexual energy. But yet when you release that energy and you actually have an intimate relationship, that there's such a different experience in the fact that, like, there's no holding back. There's like a way to allow this energy to move through you. And when you're just a side note is, when you're tapped into that energy, that is when you're manifesting like crazy, because there's this flow of energy, and it's to create. That's really what it's all about. So let's dig into some of your other tools. If you're talking about redirecting this energy at any moment, or creating the energy at any moment, like you just said, to apply to your life. Like today, you having like 2 hours of sleep, and then jumping on this after, and I know you got a full day as well, with like from clients to all the different things that you're doing. And when you talk about kind of having, how do you mesh this into your message about building a legacy? Because I think that's so powerful. So many people aren't building the legacy. So kind of give us an idea, as you as the doctor's mentor, how you assist people, or doctors, or people that are in a professional environment. I know you work with a lot of lawyers, a lot of doctors, a lot of people in these kind of professions, how to build a legacy and not just be like create something bigger. Tap into that a bit for me.
So the problem with becoming a credentialed professional is that what you really learn how to do is study, regurgitate, jump through hoops, take tests, and hang certificates on the wall. You don't ever learn how to integrate those skills into a fully balanced life. And you certainly, in some fields, like in medical school, we didn't, when I was in medical school, learn anything about business or maintaining family relationships, or anything really useful as far as integrating the profession with life, and with what an epic life can feel like and look like, and everyone is entitled to, if they just choose to step into those shoes of epic living. So one of the main things I do is try to help doctors and other credentialed professionals, if they're stuck, if they're worried, or if they're fearful, or they're in doubt. That's overwhelm, and overwhelm just paralyzes you because of those three emotions that you feel when you're overwhelmed. So the first thing I do is help them separate themselves from any overwhelm they have, because overwhelm is just a mental tattoo that we keep branding ourselves with and stopping ourselves with. So, first I separate them from their little mental tattoo. We just make that separation and get really clear and simplify the couple next steps they need to do to move forward with creating a cornerstone in a legacy. Now, a legacy means different things to different people. A legacy can be the children that you create. Your legacy can be a business that you build. Your legacy, the definition I like to use, is something that outlasts your lifetime, that changes your community.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay, so basically, I help them identify what it is they want to start building on for legacy, why it's important to them, because if you can't ask yourself that one creation question we were talking about, then there's no point in building anything. And then help them start with that cornerstone piece quickly and get it out there so it's serving them and they can build on that. Because what I found is by really modulating the tension between creation energy, when it comes through you, and release of that energy by taking an idea and creating reality out of that idea. That's how when you strategically think about what you're creating with that process, that's how you build everything in your life. And you're either building or destroying every day.
Totally agree with that. That's awesome. And side note to that is like, so, in you experience in Goddess, where we use masculine, we tap into our masculine primal power with our body to create energy and to have an experience that, is usually beyond the concepts of most people's mind. And it made me think about how when you're like taking this energy, and like the thought that came up for me, a good example of this was I remember one day when I woke up and I just felt really off. And I mean, I was tired, I was sluggish, I felt emotionally drained. And so I was like, awesome, how do I get to create energy? And I decided I'm going to go out in nature, I'm just going to go for a run, and I'm going to tap into that primal power, that masculine power, and that sexual energy to shift my experience. And I ended up running like 22 miles. And I mean, I was like literally in a space of my mind was like, yeah, maybe I can go half a mile, like maybe a mile. I was like literally in a space, just like you, being tired, having all these things and going, how do I, and this is what's so cool, is to know that you are literally limitless, infinite possibility and power. When you know how to work with the gifts of your genius, of meaning like your mind, your body, your heart, your spirit, which you talk about, and we both actually believe in this alignment to all things that allows you to be so powerful, so effortless in creating, versus like the struggle most people are going through, where they're hitting their head against the wall and they're just kind of going through the same motions and running on the same hamster wheel. It's like to go from that state to where I ran 22 miles, I came back, I meditated, and then my body was totally fine. Like I didn't feel any soreness or anything. Then I went to a high-end party that night that was like a fundraiser, and where they're dancing up, and Lori, I got to dance. Right? You've seen me bust my groove. Like there's no holding back. And so it's like I'm all out on the dance floor, just totally like releasing all my energy, and that feminine sexual energy is coming out. And it's like, but to have that kind of an experience and not be a victim of circumstance that, I had these cases, I had to run back to the practice last night until 4 a.m. Oh, sorry, Marci, we can't do the TV show. Bullshit. You were like, awesome. How do I transmute? How do I tap into that energy now and create an epic experience? And that's how my life gets to be, because I'm totally in power to utilize this. And so this knowledge, I just have to say, this knowledge of what you teach is so powerful. It's such a gift. And I appreciate so much that you, even the person that you are, standing in truth and being a Christian and so like connected to God, is like willing to stand and speak the truth about this and share this gift and this knowledge that people can have this experience. And something I'd love maybe to give one more tip and tool before we really you know, wrap this up today is so people have a hands-on something to take away as well, you know, from all the other golden nuggets that you've already given, is you talk about there's 3 strategies, which I think is important to create the relationship that you desire, even if you're not in a relationship, which I think is part of that shift of consciousness and transmutation. Will you share just a little bit on that?
Yeah, I'll share one of the strategies, and
Okay.
and I'm glad you gave me this opportunity, because I thought about it earlier and wanted an opportunity to add this piece.
I'm in tune, Lori.
I know that. People who are not in a relationship currently, or who maybe are just busy and tired, and you just don't feel aroused or desirable or desired even. And I think it's really important to realize that once you've ever experienced the lead up to sexual climax, even if you've never had a sexual climax, if you've just had the building of the tension, once your body has locked that feeling into your muscles, that can't be erased. There is a great functional MRI study of women who are paralyzed from the waist down, who can have orgasms with stimulation of their genitals, even though they have no feeling.
So fucking cool.
Is that wild or what?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, there's also the functional MRI study of the woman who does the tantric breathing and who can have an orgasm without any touch. And all of us are capable of that. And when they actually did her functional MRI, her orgasm was the very same as the person who has the physical stimulation for the orgasm.
Wow.
So your mind, your creative imagination is so powerful that if you've ever felt it, you can use that energy. It's just a matter of recognizing that ability in yourself and recalling that feeling. Like I said, getting kind of excited just even thinking about this stuff. Just, you know, really recalling that feeling and amping that up so that you can use it when you need it and where you need it. And that's absolutely how, over the years, even when I've been tired, going into the hospital, doing cases, I've been able to tap into energy. And here's a really good personal example, you know, from my life of how that's helped. When I was a resident in Galveston, I was at a party. It was at one of our staff people's houses, and I was there with a guy, and this was before HIPAA regulations and violations. So you could take people, you know, and you could talk about conditions and stuff. When you went to the hospital, you didn't have to be alone. This was down in Galveston. And I got called in to do a case on call, and I went to do it. And the guy who was with me happened to be, I mean, he drove me to the party, so he had to go to the hospital with me. So he was standing outside the exam room where I was doing this case. And it was actually the very same case I did 2 of last night, same kind of case. And basically, you know, it's this procedure, and it's kind of stressful. And if things go wrong, the child ends up in the OR. And if things go right, everybody's happy, and the child, you know, gets to spend the night in the hospital, but is otherwise fine. So it's kind of a stressful situation. And when that was all over, my now husband said to himself, "Oh my goodness, that woman was so tender with that baby. I want to make a baby with her."
Oh.
And that was when he decided that I was the one for him. So the point is, when you're manifesting, when you're pulling in that sexual energy and bringing yourself fully to the moment you need energy, that shows in ways that other people recognize and can totally change your life. And that's how you attract the right person. So with the right intent and the right vision of who you want, and then radiating your natural sexual energy, your charisma, you do attract the right people for you.
Awesome, babe. So all of that. So like, I mean, just re-wrapping up for everybody is that you literally can redirect your energy over and over at any moment and at any time to get everything that you want. Like literally you're talking about double the revenue, double the fun, like literally being the powerful creator of whatever experience that you want.
Even if your only sexual experience is a wet dream as a child.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. So I want to finish off by just retapping back into, you said you created really, coming up not only a workshop that's going to give you a roadmap to this, like how to create a toolbox and action plan for, the sexual energy transmutation. They actually have an ecstasy experience. They walk away with, can come into your writing momentum. So just share again real quickly, like how they get in touch with you, what that kind of looks like. Because I know you have so many other things as well. You're such a gift, but share a little bit so we rewrap with everyone knowing what they can take advantage of and have the opportunity to get from you.
Happy to. So let me just clarify. We're not going to have an ecstasy experience at the workshop itself. Okay. All right. It's not an orgy. Remember, I'm a conservative Christian. Okay. It's called the Ready, Set, Go, Go, Go workshop. And what we're going to do is on a Friday afternoon, there are 3 learning sessions. The first session is where you learn to be ready. You're ready. All parts of your being are ready. You study for an hour, and then you take an hour to really assess yourself on what's ready and what's not, and the steps you need to take to get ready so that when the time comes, you're there. Session 2 is an hour-long session that's called the Get, Set, Prescription. And this is the SET, standing for Sexual Energy Transmutation Prescription. This is a customized prescription that you design for yourself with my help, the doctor, so that you know exactly what you need to do to recognize your sexual energy, to amp it up, and to direct it to the right place at the right time for your ideal creation. So once you write your own sexual energy prescription, we move into the 3rd session of the afternoon, which is actually the Go, Go, Go plan. And that's where you really look at the legacy you're trying to build, what you want to do in the next year, and how do you take this energy that you've newly found and apply it to every creation. One of the most important things that you're going to create right after that session and before our question and answer session for the afternoon is your weekend of ecstasy roadmap. So I have a roadmap for you, but you want to plan out your trip for the weekend. And that's what Marci was talking about, the ecstasy experience. So that's the workshop.
I just heard ecstasy, Lori, and I was like, oh, I'm in. What?
And this is not, we're not talking the drug ecstasy. This is natural, better than any drug.
That's right.
Pure, raw, sexual energy, and tapping into that all weekend and checking in with the community to make sure you're actually doing the weekend of ecstasy like you said you would when you signed up for the workshop.
Awesome.
So then if people want to, on Monday, I have the Writer's Momentum workshop. And again, it's a full day. We work for an hour. I teach for an hour, get you to simplify your message. You go and you simplify your message for an hour. I teach another nugget, you go and refine. I teach another nugget, you go and refine. And at the end of the day, you walk away with a profitable manuscript. So that's what we have.
Yeah.
And to get in touch with me, it's Dr. Lori Barr, DrLoriBarr @gmail.com, or message me on Facebook, or up your Periscope and look for me on Periscope.
And my peeps especially get taken care of because Laura is one of my personal peeps and my favorite people in the world. So definitely reach out to Laura, you guys, Facebook or Gmail. This one is coming up pretty soon, this workshop and whatnot. I know she obviously has some amazing stuff in several aspects, from, working with people hands-on as the doctor's mentor to, building the legacy, to shifting the sexual energy transmutation set. And every time I see the word set now, I'm literally going to be like, sexual energy transmutation. Oh, that's what that person's really talking about. They don't even know.
Right.
So
ready, set, go.
That's right.
Feel the tingle.
So I love this woman. She is amazing. If you guys get into her space, you are so blessed. She literally, as you can tell, has this light and this energy. She is the gift. We were talking about the other day, Lori and I, about how there's a difference between giving a gift to the world, like someone creating a product and giving a gift, and being the gift. And she is an example of the gift, meaning like any environment she's in, she literally is like just giving off this energy of value exchange and love. And just like, as you can see, she's just light and she's just full of energy. And I mean, every time we talk after she's gone to some seminar or anything, it's like she ends up on stage and people like, we want to hear from Lori. Like, she's amazing. So getting into her space, and I know she does this like it's such a cost that is so freaking incredible for people to come experience this knowledge. So if you are interested in being in her space and getting this knowledge, I can't even recommend it with, there's not words for me to describe how powerful it is to have this knowledge and do what she's doing, which is literally just turning it on at any moment and being such a powerful creator to get everything you want. Double the revenue, double the fun. I mean, who the hell does not want more of that? Not to mention changing the game of sex forever. So Lori, thank you for taking the time, for sharing these nuggets, for being here today with me, and for sharing with my peeps the knowledge that is literally a game changer for them. Anything else you want to add for us today before you take off?
Totally gratitude for you, Marci. Love you. Love how you lock down the truth every day for so many people, and how you have helped me grow and change my life, and appreciate all these gifts even more.
I love you, darling. Thank you so much. So you guys, again, you can go to also marcilockdown.com to get any free videos and tips. You've got the Marci Lock app on marcilockapp.com or iTunes. You can be able to watch this show again where it'll be on the app. Share this with other people. Allow this this gift of sexual energy transmutation to let's spread the knowledge of the real truth. So thanks for joining us today. Laura and I are going to go kick some ass today because this is just how we roll. Power choice is yours. Choose your best life. Lock it down.
Lock it down.